Sorry to speak in English, but I'm not going to speak too much. I'm going to show you movies here.
Non, pardon de parler en anglais, je ne vais pas parler tant que ça, je vais montrer des films.
Yes, so thank you for inviting me to the No Man's Land Sanctuarisation event. I'm going to talk about this project I'm doing, playing music with Nightingales in Berlin.
Donc je vais parler de ce projet faire de la musique avec les rossignols.
Les rossignols
à
Berlin. Rossignols à Berlin. And these birds, you know, maybe this is an anti-no man's land story because it's about people and nature together.
Donc c'est peut-être une anti-no man's land histoire, une histoire anti-no man's land puisque c'est l'histoire de la nature.
It's about, you know, but it is a story of sanctuarisation. I don't know if that is a word in English or French, but it's a good word. And so it's about what happens. You celebrate this bird that is in the city that people do not pay attention to. People do not notice the nightingales in Berlin. But when you say, come on, let's go make some music with them, people start to pay attention.
Donc il s'agit de voir comment porter attention à quelque chose d'habitude on ne porte pas attention. Donc le chant des rossignols et ce qui se passe lorsque c'est le cas. Et
quand on propose aux gens de faire de la musique avec eux.
Oui.
Right, exactly. And we're making this film about this project. I just turned in a book, Nightingales in Berlin, comes out next year. So I'm just going to show you the trailer for the film. It's about 7 or 8 minutes. Yes, some people are talking. Music is being made with birds. You do not have to understand it. Just watch it and listen. It doesn't matter.
What you said, yeah.
So, you don't have to translate it.
C'est le film.
You'll get it.
The biggest thing is to not play. Just listen. Listen most of the time. Leave space to take in something you've never heard before. This little bird can migrate thousands of miles every year and come back to the exact same tree. When I came to Berlin, I knew that nightingales were singing here, and I wanted to make music with them. I knew I could find many interesting musicians to join me on this quest. What we're doing here is we're trying to find more birds, so we bicycle through the city. During the day, you can hear the nightingales singing a daylight song, which is less elaborate. You get a sense of where they are. If you hear some daylight singing, there's a very good chance the same bird is going to be in the same rough area at night. You listen for that distinctive nightingale complexity, the clicks, the whistles, and the one special sound. You're going to hear click, and then he ends with a sound very hard for humans to make. Nightingales are all over poetry, literature, all over the world. They're like a symbol of yearning, longing, love, intensity, passion. The nightingales are drunk. Wine-red roses appear. Sufis all around us, happiness is here. How firmly, like a rock, repentance stood. Look how a wine glass taps it. It lies in pieces now.
من با تو هم آوازم تو عشق گلی داری من عشق گل اندامی
There was a phase in
Berlin, where people actually, when they were sick or when they were close to death, that they were searching for a nightingale to sing for them. I like the symbolic ideas of the nightingale. And we want to be inspired, we want to draw strength to create something that gives us strength again to keep on going. And what is that energy? Where does that come from? The desire of being connected to something, to somebody, to the people who are around you, and maybe even to God who's there or not.
So many musicians come to Berlin, like the Nightingales, have migrated from somewhere else.
And I can also do like other things like this.
Nightingale, through its whole life, learning new sounds, can know up to hundreds of different phrases and combine them in very precise and very different ways.
Dreaming slow. My mind is sitting there. My eyes are breathing traces of her. It's the first time I sang with birds and with nightingales in particular. At the end, when you get really into it, you feel like flying actually. Fireworks and spray.
Learn from the situation to do something you've never done before, that could not be done without this other musician, this avian musician, this singing nightingale, playing in a new way, so this bird and you together make something that's never been heard before.
What we're talking about here. How do you make nature come alive and be meaningful and sacred and preserved for people in a world where we're threatening it, where we're pushing up against it, where we know that just setting it aside without us is kind of something incomplete about that. Why actually are there so many nightingales in Berlin? That's a question that has interested me since the beginning.
Oui, donc, sorry, listen to you now.
Any part is fine.
Oui, comment donc cette question donc
A commencé,
Ouais.
pourquoi y a-t-il tant de rossignols sur Berlin et
oui,
comment-
pourquoi y a-t-il tant de rossignols? Et c'est intéressant par rapport à la thématique d'aujourd'hui, comment donc, vivre avec enfin, pas vivre avec les rossignols, mais cette relation à l'animal.
For example, most of the literature about natural soundscapes, like the wonderful exhibit that was here last year, Les Grands Orchestres des Animaux, Bernie Krause at the Fondation Cartier, most of the literature is of the traditional kind of conservation, that the sounds of nature are being destroyed by humans. Get humans in there, natural soundscape diversity, it all goes away. It's all destroyed. We're ruining everything. That's the story you usually hear. So this is a secret place. There's only 20 people there.
Donc ce sont des concerts très privilégiés, enfin avec 20 personnes où donc on disait que ça coûtait 80
It's like a sacred place. It's a sacralized experience made into this special thing. Like you better feel it's special. You've paid a lot for this.
On paye beaucoup pour cette expérience sacrée.
It's supposed to be rare. And people didn't like to hear so much that, in Berlin there's nightingales in every corner. It's like in the city, and it changes the story.
Oui, ils n'aimaient pas trop savoir qu'à Berlin, en revanche, il y avait tant de rossignols, car ça change complètement le.
Because as we can see in all these presentations today, people are totally obsessed with animals.
Donc dans toutes ces présentations, comme on peut voir, les gens en général sont obsédés avec les animaux.
And we have always done like so many crazy things with them. We've imagined them to mean so many things.
On a toujours dans notre imagination, on les a toujours beaucoup imaginés, représentant ou signifiant tellement de choses.
So sometimes we want to dress up as animals. We want to imagine them our friends, our enemies. We want to.
On se déguise en animal, on imagine nos amis, nos ennemis.
I think if I was to say in one sentence why people are so obsessed with animals and have always been, I would say we know that they are sort of like us and sort of completely different. They're somehow accessible. We want to find out just how accessible.
Oui, en un mot, si je pouvais définir cette obsession, c'est que c'est à la fois ils nous sont très très proches et à la fois éloignés ou comme dangereux ou ennemis.
And so when I've spent quite a lot of time making music with animals, from birds to whales to insects, and people often ask me, why do you think that's even interesting?
J'ai passé beaucoup de temps à faire de la musique avec les animaux comme les dauphins, les oiseaux, et les gens me demandent pourquoi, quel intérêt trouves-tu à ça?
And I think it's because I would like to make a kind of music that no one species could make alone.
C'est certainement l'intérêt que je trouve, c'est de faire un type de musique qu'aucune autre espèce ne peut faire seule.
It's somehow in between. It's in this in-between space. Maybe we can call that the no man's land, maybe not. This space in between one species and another.
Donc c'est cet espace entre les deux espèces qu'on pourrait peut-être appeler no man's land.
And music is a good tool to use because we have no idea what music actually means, even for humans. We have no idea why we like music so much.
Et la musique est un bon outil pour ça, parce que la signification de la musique nous échappe.
all these structures and forms and sound. You know, it has to do something with emotions, but you cannot define exactly what a piece of music means. And especially if it has no words, you don't know what it actually means or is trying to tell us.
Les structures, les formes, etc. Mais à l'arrivée, la musique, on ne sait jamais ce qu'elle signifie, c'est quelque chose d'émotionnel.
And we don't know what it means for birds. We don't know why nightingales need to sing so much throughout the night.
Et on ne sait pas ce que ça signifie aussi pour les oiseaux. Pourquoi, pour les rossignols en particulier, pourquoi est-ce qu'ils chantent toute la nuit?
Yeah, well, these birds are singing, the males are singing to defend territories, to attract mates, but most birds have very short songs. They just sing a few notes, that's enough.
Par exemple, certains mâles chantent beaucoup pour leur parade, et d'autres non, font des chants plus courts.
Yeah, so why does the nightingale need to sing all night, to have hundreds of phrases, to keep going and going and going? They have evolved the need to do this, but we don't know why it happened. It was not necessary. It kind of happened.
Oui, pourquoi ils chantent autant on ne sait pas pourquoi ils chantent autant. Apparemment, ils sont arrivés à ce fait-là de chanter. On ne sait pas pourquoi.
So, I mean, according to Darwin's theory of sexual selection, it's kind of the sonic version of the peacock's tail, just something extremely excessive that evolution has produced.
Ok, alors d'après le nom propre, c'est
pour suivre la théorie darwiniste selon
pardon.
laquelle le pan serait apparu en faisant une queue extraordinaire, on aurait le même phénomène d'extrémisme chez le rossignol qui chanterait merveilleusement.
So, you know, it's out there. It's evolution makes this possible. Sometimes it happens. Excessive music, excessive feathers, the excess, the possibility is there. Usually it does not evolve, but sometimes it does.
Oui, donc en effet, ça produit cet excès. L'évolution produit cet excès qui on ne sait pas pourquoi se produit, mais en tout cas, est là.
You know, nightingales are very extreme birds. We often hear extremes make bad examples, but of course they make really good examples because they're so interesting.
Donc, ce sont des oiseaux extrêmes. Parfois c'est négatif, mais là, ce sont de bons exemples de.
Just like humans are pretty extreme species. Everything about us is kind of out there, not very necessary, not very practical, but somehow we evolved to do all this crazy stuff.
Les êtres humains aussi sont extrêmes, complètement fous, démesurés.
So we should, you know, we can learn a lot from trying to interact with the music of other species. This is kind of the oldest music we know. It's millions of years older than human beings. Songs of nightingales.
Nous avons beaucoup à gagner à interagir avec ces chants et les rossignols, car ce sont depuis de nombreuses années, ça date depuis, c'est quelque chose qui date depuis toujours.
So there must be something right about it if it's managed to last for millions of years.
Si ça a duré tant d'années, des millions d'années, il doit y avoir quelque chose de juste là-dedans.
You know, when it comes to aesthetics and art and music, humans are never sure what's good and what's bad. We argue about this, we wonder.
Quand on parle d'art, d'esthétique, l'être humain n'est jamais sûr de ces sujets. On se pose toujours des questions.
And nightingales, they don't have to worry about this. They know. They've figured it out.
Les rossignols ne se posent pas de questions.
Yeah. And so to join in with this, to try and participate in this kind of ancient aesthetic system, I think we can learn a lot about how beauty found its way in nature.
Donc en apprenant de ce système esthétique ancien, on a beaucoup à gagner.
And my favorite aspect of this now is really bringing other people in to do it, because I've spent so much time doing it. I really want to see what happens when other musicians confront these birds and surprise themselves, and that's what we're trying to film. What happens when someone does this for the first time?
Mon projet est donc d'amener d'autres musiciens à interagir et voir ce qui se passe aussi.
So the people who figure it out, they tend to, leave space between their phrases. They listen more. They try and wonder how this bird might interact or not interact with the sounds they hear. And, really interesting things sometimes happen.
Donc les artistes invités à faire ça tâchent de voir comment, où trouver leur place, quelle place laisser au rossignol, et c'est un travail intéressant.
And even though it's, primarily an artistic project, I think it has a lot of relevance in terms of these notions of conservation and humans relating to nature that we're talking about here.
Et donc même si c'est un sujet artistique, c'est assez pertinent par rapport à la préservation de l'environnement et donc,
because if we are going to continue our species surviving in the world of nature that we are putting under so much threat, we're going to have to find a way that our own culture somehow fits into the culture of nature. We have to have many more experiments like this in all areas of music, art, society. We have to think of what it means to be together with animals, together with nature, and be really creative about trying this out in different cases, whether it comes from living with bears, figuring out what to call the new era, or making art with animals. We have to try out all kinds of new approaches.
Donc oui, pour ce projet, par rapport à l'environnement, cette approche devrait se développer et s'élargir et que ce soit avec les...
Okay, so I think I'll stop there and we can talk about this if you have questions or comments. So thank you.